It's Andy Barr. I live at Pinery in the Adelaide Plains, just north of Adelaide by about 80 kilometres. In my previous life I was a plant breeder and had worked in research for nearly 30 years and then came home on the family farm, and so I've always had a passion for R&D in the cropping area, and GRDC is the biggest external funds provider to that process in Australia, and so I wanted to be involved still in the research community and the research portfolios in Australia, and the Southern Panel was one way to do that. GRDC does fund projects in CIMMYT, but I think the main benefit for me working on the CIMMYT board is that I get to see cropping systems around the world, plus I get to interact with a number of scientists from other places, so hopefully I can bring back some of those international experiences to Southern Panel and to the GRDC Varieties program to sort of help frame what we do here. Well, I think there's some big changes in the farming systems in South Australia, which I guess is the area that I come from. We looked at a huge increase in lentil production over the last couple of years, and so from a GRDC perspective we need to be very vigilant about anything that's changing in lentils over the next year or two, and we will be having a very close look at the research portfolio around lentils. But there's also been big changes in the opportunities we have for managing herbicide-resistant ryegrass with the release of some new chemistry over the next couple of years, and we'll be wanting to make sure that programs are in place to ensure that that chemistry has a long and successful life in our farming systems. The workload works out for me at about 45 days of actual contact time a year, and as well as that there's some teleconferences and some email traffic to look at. But GRDC is very keen to have farmers involved, so the peak workloads are normally timed to miss peak periods like seeding and harvest. So there's, for instance, no meetings scheduled in May and June, and there's no meetings scheduled in November, December. And so the dates of our long periods of commitment, like any week-long commitments, are booked 12 months in advance. So you have plenty of forewarning, and it's up to you then to plan your time. You know, all of us spend a lot of money in our levies that we contribute to R&D. We all know that productivity is what drives our profitability, and that if we don't make gains in productivity, then we're not in the industry for the long term. So if you want to see change, then get involved and make some contributions to that. Make sure that your levies are well spent and that the research priorities are well based.